Welcome back to the channel, guys. We have some updates on our Solitude 390 RK. If you've been following our Instagram, I think you've posted some stuff up there about it on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I've posted a little bit on Instagram. I haven't said a whole lot just yet. Kind of wanted to be able to wrap it up and encompass everything, just so that we're not leaving little trails and bits and pieces along the way. And yeah, so let's tell these fine folks, all our friends,
All right.
what we got going on.
Well, let's get the intro started and we'll go from there.
All right.
So we, as you well know by now, we've done a video on it. We did a walkthrough of it, but we do have a Solitude 390 RK. It's a 2022. And there's been some issues that have cropped up with it. And we didn't really know about these issues until around the rally.
Yeah.
Right before we got to the rally, we started reading on the 390 Facebook groups that they were having some issues with the rear floor in the kitchen area starting to sag a little bit.
Right, and I just want to tell you guys, if you're not joined one of the groups for your specific model of RV, brand and model, do that. And this is why, because we would have had no idea about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Issue that we're getting
there's tons of groups out there that are specifically for the 390 RK. We'll probably put down in the description the one that we're a member of that we would recommend that you go to, because it gives you a lot of detail in that particular group about this issue.
Yes.
So, you know, if you have a 390 RK, go to this group and you'll get all the details about it. But we're going to talk about it a little bit here.
Yeah.
So at the rally, there's a guy that put together a meeting. His name is Chris, and we won't tell you his last name. You know who you are, Chris. But he put together a meeting with the VP and several of the other techs from Grand Design to talk about this issue. And the problem is that the floor in the kitchen area just sags a little bit, and specifically underneath the slides, and it causes the slides to have issues.
Yeah.
So we got together with the VP and this group in the at the rally.
It was literally Jerry, Vice President of Grand Design, and all of his team of engineers and product managers and literally all the head guys. And I just, you can tend to get upset and so mad and frustrated at the problems with RVs. They all have problems, and we always say that, but it's a matter of attitude and how you proceed forward with those things. So they did not have to make time for us. This was probably one of their busiest events of the year. And they literally set aside and said, they met us in one of the buildings separately. Anybody that was at the rally that had a 390 was invited. And first thing they said was, we're here to listen and hear you out and answer any questions you have and take as much time as you need. Right.
And they did a great job of that, and they didn't take our issue to light. Right. When you have this many people coming forward and saying, hey, this seems to be an issue, you need to take a look at it at least. And they took a very good look at it. Matter of fact, they agreed that there was an issue, and actually the very next day, they were sending out their team to come around to all the 390 RK owners that were in that meeting. They came around to all of our RVs and shored up the floors to make sure that we weren't going to have problems in the future.
Yeah, y'all, when they came out, it looked like a million ants all around our RV because they were literally like, they're so laser focused, and they have every guy knows where he needs to be and what he needs to do. They had all of the head guys there, all the way to the head lead team engineers, and they literally, any questions we had, went over it, made sure we were 100% satisfied before they left us.
Yeah, absolutely. They gave us, and even one of the guys, Jay, he gave us some additional details. He mentioned that, even though your floor hasn't really sagged that much, he recommended that we go ahead and have the Schwintek systems in our slides replaced because it was concerning moving forward that it might cause an issue down the road. Even though it was working okay now for us, it still might cause an issue because he could see some issues with the rivets that were holding the rollers, the bottom rollers in, and where the gibs are. He said there was some issues he could see cropping up there, and he was afraid that if we didn't get it addressed right now, down the road we were going to see some issues with it. So hence we are currently in Elkhart. Well, we're not right now in Elkhart, but our
let me tell you how this ended up going. First of all, I'm going to back you guys up a little bit to our journey getting to Elkhart. So we, after the national rally, first of all, they had gotten us an appointment right away within 2 weeks time to get Olaf in to get fixed. And so we went to Cincinnati, visit my mom in Ohio, which wasn't terribly too far away. So I was like, oh, perfect. So we can just jump back over here. But Jarrett works from the RV 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, so we couldn't leave until he got off work. And he scheduled a couple of days off, but we had to make sure that we waited until he got off work that night to leave. And then we had to be there at 6 o'clock the next morning, ready for them to take our rig in. Well, we start towing Olaf, and we're going through tons of rain, construction, the itty bitty roads. I mean, it couldn't have been.
It was very challenging for towing, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we pull in at 5:30 in the morning, exhausted. We had not slept for 24 hours at this point. We are completely depleted.
We're probably still trying to catch up on sleep, actually.
We probably are, yeah. At any rate, we said, okay, we've got a little bit of time. We can open up a slide and we'll just relax a little bit, give the dogs some room to kind of roam around. They'd been in the truck all night. And what happened? It gets better.
It's hard to talk about, but we also, when we set the appointment for this, getting the Schwintek system taken care of here or at Grand Design, we also mentioned to them that the hydraulic slides in the living area were coming in a little harsh on the floors, and they were putting marks in it.
They were leaving like ruts in the flooring.
They hadn't tore the floor up, but were cutting. They were putting marks in the floor, so it was very concerning, and we were afraid that it was going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
And so, lo and behold, as soon as we get to Grand Design, we get into their little camping area. I go to open up the slide. One slide opens just fine. The other one takes out pieces of the floor. So
rips it up. Piece here, piece here.
Yeah, so that was an instantaneous, well, we will be here a little bit longer than we anticipated.
Yeah.
So that was a challenging morning for us. We ended up even going to the wrong location.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They were in a transition, I think, of having where they were doing RV repairs previously was where we were, but they had moved that probably within days, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like it's a 5-year plan for them because they have some new buildings going up where they were originally doing service, and they're in some transition, and it's like a 5-year plan kind of thing from what we understand, and so they had moved it. Well, we were given 2 different addresses, but I was told 3 different times different addresses, 2 of the same one time. One was different, and I was like, so I had written on the back of the business card at the rally, use this address on the back of the one they told me.
Well, it had changed by the time we got to that.
So that was another.
So we did, probably more our fault than anything. Yeah. We needed to follow up with them better and just make sure where we were supposed to go, and we didn't really do that.
I should have called again and just be sure.
Yeah, it's all good though. But they had no problems with it, even though we were technically 2 hours late for our appointment.
I know, but Katie
they
and
got us right in,
Katie and customer service over where they were originally doing service. We opened the door, and had we gone up to the door, we didn't, because when you go to where it's technically where the factory work's done now, as far as like building them.
But it says customer service.
Yeah,
there's a customer service sign out front, so that's why we went to that location.
Right.
And
but
there was
says
a campground there.
Authorized personnel only at the gate, and so I was like,
It actually says at the gate, authorized personnel only, and if you're a visitor, to go to the corporate office, which is right down the street.
Right, and I was like,
it wasn't even
I'm
open
so
at the time either.
So we saw a guy that he actually helps to do parts with the prototypes, and that were back in this area, and he said, well, I don't ever see anybody here till 7 or 8. And we're like, but at this point, the slide had ripped. We've been driving all night, sleep deprived, and I was like, why would they tell us 6? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So we waited until 7. We set an alarm. We laid down on the bed, and we're like, okay, set an alarm. Make sure we don't fall asleep. And went in the door. Katie greeted us with, kid gloves. Bless her. She was so good to us. And gave us some water, you need coffee, anything like that, and told us where to go. Called Valerie. If you've ever had service at Grand Design, Valerie's fantastic, and so was an Emily.
Yeah.
But and they were waiting on us, and no problems.
Bottom line, it was, it didn't really matter that we were that late or all that had happened. They said, come on in. As soon as we took it over.
And if it did matter, they didn't let us know it.
Right, and as soon as we took it over to the right area where the repairs were to be done, Valerie said, we'll get it in like right now.
Yeah.
So she said, just drop it right here and we'll take it in. And that's what happened.
Yeah, so from there, we dropped it off. We had already had a bag packed with some clothes, but that meant we had to extend our stay. And I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. I'll just, when we check into the hotel, I'll let, see if we can just tack on more days.
Yeah, easier said than done, right?
Yeah, that didn't work out either. So they currently have and they haven't had this for 3 years now due to COVID. So this is the first one back, and they're hitting it hard, and it's turned out to be really, really big. But it's the RV dealer show. So all the dealers come to Elkhart and tour the factories, and it's held at the RV Hall of Fame there in Elkhart. And they were all booked solid at every hotel.
Yeah, so, there was hotels available, but only if we wanted to pay $300, $400, $500 a night.
2 hotels available, and they were like $350 a night. And I was like, well, are you taking me to Disney?
So since they weren't taking us to Disney, where are we at right now?
We are in Byron Center, Michigan, just below Grand Rapids, close to Holland, Michigan, which is a Dutch town where they have a Dutch village and everything. So on the West Coast. So we decided to make lemonade out of these lemons and do a little more exploring, and we're staying at a hotel in Byron Center, Michigan.
The great thing was we did get to go and do our tour, what we were supposed to do at the rally, but we didn't get to because the issue cropped up, and
they were at our rig, and I was like, well, we're not.
The day we were supposed to go to our the factory tour was the day that they were coming to work on our rig, so we weren't leaving no matter what for anything. But we did get to do a tour a couple days ago, which was fantastic. Austin was the guy that showed us around. Many of you may know who Austin is. Who is Austin?
Don Clark's son.
Yeah, and he was great. He did a great job of showing us around, explaining everything to us.
Yeah, we love Austin.
Yeah, just the fact that we got to see the process was good, because I really wanted to see how these things are built and to see what's underneath everything, because a lot of times I like to do my own repairs. This is the first time. I don't know that we've ever brought one of these RVs back, any of them.
We've never.
Because I try to take care of it as much as I can, because I know bringing it back to a dealer or bringing it back to maybe even here, it's going to sit here for a while getting worked on, before we get it back. And this is our home, so, it makes sense for me to learn this stuff and understand it.
My handyman.
Yes. So, learning everything that Austin showed us and told us about was fantastic, and we appreciate that. The only thing is we didn't get to see
We didn't get to see
Solitude.
our line. Yeah.
We didn't get to see the Solitude line, which is our line. We went to the Momentum line.
But that's pretty close comparable.
Well, they build them basically the same way.
I mean,
the components are a lot of the same, so it worked out very well for us. I did represent, though. I had my Solitude shirt on.
He's like, but we're Team Solitude.
Yeah, and actually there was only, out of like 8 people that were in our group, there was only one couple there that had a Momentum.
Yeah, everybody else had a Solitude or an Imagine.
Yeah, was there some Transcend people there too?
No.
No?
Mm-hmm.
It was, okay, just Imagine and Solitude. Yeah. So everybody else was Imagine or Solitude, so, worked out pretty good for us. But anyway, we got to see the process. We got to, pick Austin's brain a little bit on some certain things. And also, I was able to give him some suggestions on things that I would like to see, and I don't know if you did or not, but.
And then your group in there, there were some people that just weren't familiar with, some of the help that's out there with. Well,
it's collaboration, right? So you get to collaborate with the group that's there. They may have questions that somebody else may be able to answer, or vice versa. We might have some questions that they may be able to answer. So it was really good experience, because seeing the factory and also collaborating with not only Austin but also the group that was there that may know something that we didn't know.
And meeting new people, which is my favorite part.
Absolutely. So that was fantastic. We got to spend some time there at the corporate office and in the factory, and going through the tour and doing all that. And then the next day, which was yesterday, right? Friday?
So Friday. So
Friday.
We started off all this journey on Tuesday night, arrived Wednesday, and then... Yeah. So
Thursday
was the tour.
And then Friday, we got to actually go see our RV as it was being worked on.
Wow. It turned cold here. Well, it turned cold in Elkhart, and then of course we're further north in Michigan, but all of a sudden within a day it was like, I don't know, 25-degree difference, and I'm like, we need more clothes, because I was so tired. I didn't even think, oh, well, they're keeping the RV longer, we need more clothes.
Right.
But I also was
I
not
only had shorts and t-shirts.
I was not planning for the cold weather to come. It was only like a high of 60 or something that day. It was crazy.
It was a little chilly. I mean, I'm okay.
Austin was out there like chattering when
he's
giving the tour and walking from one building to the next.
Yeah, I do okay in 60-degree weather, but if it gets much colder than that, which it has, I get a little chilly if I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. So, but we were able to get our clothes, but also we were able to see the progress that they did on it.
So cool.
And lo and behold, we do have some video that I'll put in here somewhere showing you what we got to see, what we got to experience while we were there. And really and truly, I mean, it's Valerie wasn't there. She was actually out, I think, at one of the rallies.
Yeah, she had to go up north to a rally to represent Grand Design.
Yeah, so we got to work with Emily and talk with her about things, and Emily was fantastic. I mean,
I love her. Even the guys working in the plant, so friendly and nice. They all said hi, and I mean, oh my gosh, the service bays were so clean. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Of course, we walk up to our RV, and one of the slides is completely out.
Completely out.
And that was interesting.
I'm like, oh, we have a new bay window.
yeah, that was a very big bay window, that's for sure.
But that's a good thing, because that means work was getting done.
Yeah, but they were in the process of... with the slides, they were replacing the Schwintek systems, because that's one of the things that one of the techs at the Grand Design Rally, when they were working on our rig, said, I would go ahead and have these replaced. So that's just, once he told us that, we walked right over to get the schedule to get that in. And that's what they were doing when we walked in. They were actually taking the slides out and replacing the Schwintek systems. And there was also a TSB
on the bedroom slide.
Technical bulletin for not just the bedroom slides, but the Schwintek system, because they're supposed to have an extra roller, and they had already put the extra rollers in there. The bedroom slide was going to get that as well, and it was looking fantastic.
You know,
they had already even replaced the flooring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was replaced.
Literally, the flooring was
what?
Now, I will tell you though, a blessing to the 390 plant floor plan. We have split levels, so we have a living room, and it goes up to the bedroom and up to the kitchen. So all they have to work with is just one small area, and
Yep.
then we didn't have to remove, like most of y'all are having to remove everything out of your rig and all this stuff. We didn't have to do any of that. It was so great.
Yeah.
But also, our warranty's getting ready to come up, so I feel like God's timing is so much better than ours, and everything happens for a reason. And I was able to put together a punch list of just little things here and there that we probably could have fixed, but if it's going to be in there, we may as well just let them handle it. They do a full PDI on it before it comes back to us. So
there's some smaller stuff getting fixed while it's there. You know, it's stuff that I would have fixed, but since it was there at the factory, why not go ahead and have them take care of it? And they're doing a fantastic job. I mean, they've already done half the work, which is crazy.
I just feel blessed, and I feel so proud to be a Grand Design owner.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons why we are Grand Design. I mean, I don't know that we really understood the reasoning for being a Grand Design owner
and the hashtag GDRV for life. There's a reason that for life. That's how much they care and put heart into their product, that they're willing to say, you're going to want this for life.
Yeah, and I don't think we really understood that.
And we don't get anything
now.
for this. This is just our opinion and
No,
our
well, we're
feelings.
not a big channel to begin with. I mean, we're nobodies. You know, we're just like everybody else. We just, you know, have a channel that we put information out about. But, you know, this is why we...
But we want you to follow us. Just had to throw that in there.
Right. This is why we are, you know... We're just now realizing why it's great to be a Grand Design owner.
Drank the Kool-Aid, y'all.
Yeah, well, we drank it this week for sure because, you know, dealing with everybody like we have been dealing with and talking with everybody, and the helpfulness that has come our way has been fantastic. Yeah. And it's not just you know, the techs, or it's not just, I mean, one of the guys there that was actually working on our rig was going through and giving me maintenance tips. He was giving me tips about the rig.
On his own accord.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a great situation, and you know, just having them go through and show us all that stuff and take the time to do it was fantastic.
The other thing, and I don't know if you noticed, but the people I had spoke to along the way and in the service base that we were in, they love their job, and they are excited to be there, and they're all, I asked each of them when they were talking, I'm like, so how long have you been here? And the longevity of this company, there's not a revolving door. Like, they don't have a lot of turnover. And for me, with any company, is so telling.
Right.
And, oh gosh, I just, you know, and, you know, there's probably other, you know, brands out there that are wonderful too. We're just speaking about ours because we own a Grand Design.
Any other group or any other company or anything like that. It's just, this is the experience we've had with Grand Design, and we appreciate it. Yeah. And you know, it's just been a great experience for us. But getting back to, you know, what they have done to this point, you know, they've already done several things with our rig, and hopefully we'll have our rig back, you know, by maybe Wednesday of this coming week. Which would be fantastic. I mean, you know, who knew we would get it back that way? I mean, I figured they'd have it for a month after the floor was. I was, oh, this is not good. Yeah,
and you know, I was distraught when we pulled in, and the ripping of the floor, and we're at the wrong place, and I was so tired, and which was our own fault for driving so late at night. But he, you know, helped to calm me down as usual, because just female hormonal, and I'm like, oh my God, all this stuff. But in hindsight, it was really not. We couldn't have been in a better place at the right time for fixing.
You know, not to get, you know, psychology on everybody, but it's just the situation where if you can't change something, I can't get upset about it, because if I can't change it, I'm not going to ruin the rest of my day or whatever's happening because there's something happening that I can't change. I can't, you know, it's just the way I am, the way I'm wired. I don't know why, but
I needed work in that department when we first stared dating, and like, you still married me.
Bit, yeah.
Like,
but yeah, they've done a great job. There's a couple TSBs, by the way, And this is why I would steer you to the 390 arcade group.
Yeah, so tell them what the group is, because there's a difference.
Well, like I said, there's a million groups out there. So, the one, we'll put it down in the description, because it's hard to just tell you go to the Grand Design 390 group, because when you type that in, I mean, literally there's a bunch of groups for the 390. So it's not, we'll put it down in the description. So
but I will tell you, Chris, who got all of this going for getting this specific TSB issue addressed, so that they would create it as a TSB and allow everyone that is having this issue or has it within the certain years or whatever to get addressed. He did start this group, so there's a lot of content in there he speaks directly to that team, and they rely on him a lot for the feedback from our group. So that's one reason why we're requesting you to go to this specific group.
Well, the other thing is because there's a lot of information in there specific to this issue. I mean, that's what got this group started.
Let alone just the rig in general.
That's one of the reasons why this group got started, is because we wanted to have a place where we could go to talk about it. There is a TSB on this issue with the floor sag. It's a evolving TSB, so there is one posted on the group, so you can go look at it. It gives you details about how this issue is fixed. Basically, what they're doing is they're going in and they're putting rivets into the underbelly there, where it helps to shore up the floor. Or the first thing they do is if there is a floor sag there, they'll raise the floor up. Then they put in rivets to help hold it in place. They put in a support beam in between the two doors, the two access doors. On both sides, and then they use some super strong glue also called Sikaflex. Apparently that's some really good stuff that they love.
Yeah, their main dude on the line, like Jerry, the VP, was like, he's all about this Sikaflex. Sikaflex.
Yeah.
He's all about it. It's the end all be all for.
Yeah.
So.
It wasn't Jerry. Did you say Jerry? It wasn't Jerry.
Jerry,
it was one of the techs that.
Oh, I thought Jerry said it was Laverne.
Laverne, I think, is the one that really loves this stuff, which is fine.
Jerry was saying that he.
Yeah. Anyway, they put new rivets in there. They leave the screws that are in there. They put some rivets to go alongside those screws, and then they also put those support beams in there and the Sikaflex. So all that is helping to keep the floor from sagging back there. So that's a great thing. They've already shored up the floor for us at the rally. We'll continue to monitor it and see if there's any issues with it. Of course, now we're getting the Schwintek systems replaced in both those slides, so we'll see if we have any issues with those. Yeah, I mean, it's been great so far. This whole experience is.
That's been pretty amazing.
I mean, even down to, the Grand Design, people that own Grand Design. I mean, you can get tons of information from people from these groups. Pay attention when you start seeing issues crop up. If somebody says, I have this issue, and then you look through the group and you see a whole bunch of people talk about that. You might hear some things like, where you're just overloaded, or you got,
which we all know is easy to do, but your weight.
But when you have a whole bunch of people starting to talk about a issue, then it's something to be looked into. And that was what was happening with this, is a lot of people were complaining that this was a problem and it needed to be looked into. And luckily, with some help from Chris and the Grand Design team, I mean, literally the VP was there talking to us about this. It doesn't get much higher than that, really. I mean, there's one other guy. So, the situation for us has been fantastic. Dealing with Grand Design through this process has been fantastic. And we're super happy and just excited. We're excited to get our rig back, too.
I know. I miss Olaf a lot, but I will say we're in some pretty sweet digs right now. I mean,
the hotel's not bad. That's for sure.
The hotel's brand new. It's like 2 months old, and we're in a king suite, so it's got like the full kitchen and all, so that's been nice. But we're living that hometail life. Homeless.
We're homeless, yeah. Well, our home is not available to us right now. That's the way I would say it.
Yeah, but if y'all have any questions, leave them below, and of course
we'll try to answer as much as we can. We don't have all the full details. I mean, we have a lot of details on things, but the first place we're going to send you is to that 390 group, because there's so much in there right now. Lots of questions have already been asked and answered in that group, and it's a fantastic group. So go over there and sign up, and you'll get all the details you need. And then it's not just this issue, there's also other things being discussed there, and you can ask questions about whatever you want.
Of course.
That's what these groups are for. And someone like me or or anybody in that group will be happy to answer the question that you pose if we can.
All right. Anyway, we're going to leave you to that. And I don't know, are you going to give them an update when we get it back and kind of go?
Yeah, we'll do another update as soon as we get it back. We'll take you through, and that way we'll have it in front of us and we can walk through with the video.
Yeah.
Show you what all happened. I've got some video that I'm plugging into this one, so you'll see a lot of the things already. But you'll see it, basically the aftermath, and once they get done with it, we'll put that together too for you.
Yeah. So if you'd be so sweet, because we would love your support, if you'll just give us a thumbs up, put a little comment down there, but most of all, subscribe to our channel if you want some more helpful information on.
Always helps us.
Yeah, Jarrett's always doing some handiwork, or maybe we got something cool in. I think you got a video coming up on.
I got another video coming up on a compressor.
Yeah,
which there's a couple different kinds of compressors, but
that's for another time.
That's another time, yes.
So we hope that y'all are enjoying and being safe on the road and all the places you're going to visit. Don't forget, hitch, roll, relax.
Stay safe.